Sophia
really think
Bennett
you can
stood
just
in
walk
front of her
away?
mirror, adjusting her
I have
simple
nothing
blue
left
dress.
to say to you.
She looked at herself and
Stay away
sighed.
from her. She
I
is with
really
me
don't
now.
want to do this, she said out loud. Her phone buzzed. It was her sister, Grace. You better be ready. Grace's text said, "This guy is perfect for you. Trust me." Sophia rolled her eyes. Grace always said that about every date she arranged, and every single time, it was a disaster. But tonight, she had promised one more date, just to make her sister happy. She grabbed her purse and walked out the door. The restaurant was elegant, more elegant than Sophia expected. Soft music played in the background. Candles glowed on every table. It didn't feel like a normal blind date spot. It felt expensive, different. A waiter guided her to a private table near the back. "Your date is already here," the waiter said politely. Sophia's heart skipped. She wasn't ready, but she took a breath and walked forward. A man sat at the table, his back straight, his posture confident. He wore a dark suit that fit him perfectly. When he looked up at her, Sophia froze for a second. His eyes were sharp, almost cold, but there was something magnetic about him too. "You must be Sophia," he said, standing up. His voice was calm, deep, controlled. Double quotes, yes. "And you are?" she asked. "Nikolai," he replied simply. They sat down. The conversation started slow. Sophia asked normal questions about his job, his family. But Nikolai gave short, vague answers. "I work in business," he said. When she asked what he did, "What kind of business?" Sophia pushed gently. Nikolai's lips curved into a small smile. The kind that doesn't need explaining. Sophia felt a strange chill run down her spine. Something about this man felt different, dangerous, even. She noticed two men standing near the restaurant entrance. They weren't eating. They weren't talking. They were just watching. "Are those men with you?" she asked carefully. Nikolai didn't even turn to look. "Don't worry about them." That answer made Sophia even more nervous. Her instincts told her to leave. "Right now. I think I should go," she said, standing up quickly. "This isn't really working out." She turned to walk away, but a hand gently caught her wrist. Not rough, not forceful, but firm enough that she couldn't move. "Sit down." "Sophia," Nikolai said quietly. "Let go of me," she said, her voice shaking slightly. Nikolai leaned closer, his voice dropping into a whisper. "You're mine now." Sophia's breath caught in her throat. The words felt strange, possessive, almost impossible to believe. Who talks like that on a first date? "Excuse me," she said, pulling her hand back. "I don't know what kind of games you're playing, but I'm leaving." She turned and walked fast toward the exit, her heart pounding in her chest. But when she reached the door, she noticed something that made her stop. The two men from earlier were now standing right outside, blocking her path, not aggressively, but clearly on purpose. Sophia turned back, confused and scared. "What is going on?" Nikolai walked up slowly behind her, his expression calm and readable. "You wanted to run," he said, "but it's not that simple anymore." "What do you mean?" Sophia demanded. "I don't even know you." Nikolai's eyes studied her carefully, like he was searching for something. "You will," he said. Very soon, Sophia felt a wave of fear rush through her body. This wasn't a normal date. This wasn't a normal man. And whoever Nikolai really was, she had a horrible feeling that her simple, quiet life was about to change forever. As she stood there, trapped between the door and this mysterious stranger, one question echoed in her mind. Who exactly did her sister set her up with? And more importantly, what had she just gotten herself into? Part 2. The truth about Nikolai. 800 words. Sophia's mind raced. She looked at the two men blocking the door, then back at Nikolai. Her hands were shaking. "Move," she said, trying to sound brave. "Let me out." Nikolai studied her for a moment. Then he raised his hand slightly, and the two men stepped aside without a word. Sophia blinked, surprised. She pushed the door open and walked out fast, almost running toward the street. Her heart pounded with every step. She didn't stop until she was 2 blocks away, standing under a streetlight, breathing hard. What was that? She whispered to herself. She pulled out her phone and called her sister immediately. "Grace, who did you set me up with?" Sophia asked, her voice sharp. "What? Why? Did something happen?" Grace sounded confused. "His name is Nikolai. Tall, dark suit, scary eyes. He had men watching us the whole time." There was a pause on the phone. A long pause. "Grace," Sophia said. "Are you there?" "Sophia?" "I didn't know," Grace said slowly. "My friend just said he was successful and single. She didn't tell me his last name." "What do you mean his last name?" Sophia asked. Grace hesitated. "Just Be careful, okay? I'll find out more. The call ended, leaving Sophia more confused than before. That night, Sophia couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about Nikolai's cold eyes and his strange words. You're mine now. Who says something like that? The next morning, she decided to search his name online. She typed Nikolai and her city name into the search bar. What she found made her blood run cold. News articles, police reports, rumors. Nikolai Volkov, believed to be the head of one of the most powerful and dangerous crime families in the city. Several unsolved cases were linked to his name, though nothing had ever been proven against him. Photos showed him in expensive suits, always surrounded by guards, always with that same unreadable expression. Sophia's hands trembled as she scrolled through the pictures. This was the man she had dinner with last night. This was the man who had grabbed her wrist and whispered those chilling words. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She hesitated, then answered. Hello. You looked me up, Nikolai's voice said calmly. I'm not surprised. Sophia's chest tightened. How did you get this number? Stay away from me. I can't do that, Nikolai replied simply. Why not? What do you want from me? Sophia's voice rose in panic. There was a pause. When Nikolai spoke again, his voice was quieter, more serious. You're in danger, Sophia. Not because of me. Because of who you're connected to. What are you talking about? I'm not connected to anyone dangerous. Your sister's friend, Nikolai said. The one who arranged this date. She works for a family that is my enemy. They used her to get close to me, using you as bait. Sophia felt the world tilt beneath her feet. That's insane. I don't believe you. Believe what you want, Nikolai said. But they know your face now. And they won't stop until they get what they want. And what's that? Sophia asked, her voice barely a whisper. Information, Nikolai said. About me. And they'll use you to get it, one way or another. Sophia sat down on her couch, her legs suddenly weak. This felt like a nightmare, one she couldn't wake up from. So what am I supposed to do? She asked. Stay where you are, Nikolai said. I'm sending someone to watch your apartment. I don't need protection from you. Sophia snapped. I need you to leave me alone. If I leave you alone, Nikolai said slowly, you won't survive the week. The line went silent for a moment. Sophia's heart pounded so loud she could hear it in her ears. You're lying, she whispered. This is some kind of trick. I wish it was, Nikolai said. But it's not. Before she could respond, a loud crash came from outside her apartment door. Sophia froze, her phone still pressed to her ear. Sophia. Nikolai's voice turned sharp. What was that? She didn't answer. She stared at the door, her whole body frozen with fear. As the doorknob slowly began to turn, someone was trying to get in. And for the first time, Sophia realized, whatever Nikolai was involved in, she was already in the middle of it, whether she wanted to be or not. The doorknob kept turning. Sophia stood frozen, her phone still in her hand, Nikolai's voice calling her name. Sophia? Answer me, he said sharply. She finally found her voice. Someone's trying to get in, she whispered. Lock yourself in the bathroom. Now. My men are 2 minutes away. Sophia didn't argue. She ran, locked the bathroom door behind her, and sat on the floor, her back against the wall. Her heart racing, she heard the front door break open. Footsteps, voices, low and rough, talking in a language she didn't understand. Her whole body shook. Then, more footsteps. A struggle, a loud thud, then silence. A soft knock came on the bathroom door. Sophia, it's safe now. It's Marco, Nikolai sent me. She opened the door slowly. A tall man stood there, calm and serious, with 2 other men behind him. On the living room floor, 2 strangers lay tied up, unconscious. Who are they? Sophia asked, her voice trembling. People who wanted to hurt you, Marco said simply. Mr. Volkov is on his way. 20 minutes later, Nikolai walked through her broken door. His eyes searched the room until they found her. For a brief moment, something flickered across his face, worrying, maybe even fear. Then it disappeared, replaced by his usual calm expression. Are you hurt? He asked, walking closer. No, Sophia said quietly. But I could have been. Because of you. Because of the people who used you, Nikolai corrected. Not me. Sophia crossed her arms, trying to stay strong even though her legs still felt weak. You said I'd survive the week if I stayed with you. So what now? I just trust you. Nikolai looked at her for a long moment. You don't have much choice. Not anymore. She hated that he was right. Over the next few days, Sophia stayed at a secure apartment arranged by Nikolai. Guards watched every entrance. At first, she resented it, feeling like a prisoner. But slowly, she noticed something strange. Nikolai visited every evening. He didn't have to, but he did. They talked. Real conversations, not like their strange first date. Sophia learned that Nikolai hadn't always been this cold, powerful man. His father had built the family business through fear and violence, and Nikolai grew up learning that showing emotion meant showing weakness. "Do you ever want a different life?" Sophia asked him one evening, as they sat by the window watching the city lights. Nikolai was quiet for a while. "I used to," he admitted. "A long time ago." "What changed?" "I learned that in my world, wanting something different gets you killed. Or worse, gets someone you love killed." Sophia looked at him, seeing him differently now. Not just a dangerous mafia boss, but a man trapped by his own life, just like she felt trapped by this situation. Days passed, and something shifted between them. Small moments, the shared laugh, a lingering look, a hand accidentally touching another. Sophia tried to fight the feeling growing inside her, but it was becoming harder to ignore. One night, Marco rushed into the apartment, his face pale. "Boss, we have a problem," he said urgently. "The Ricci family knows where Sophia is. They're planning something, tonight." Nikolai's expression darkened instantly. "How many men?" "At least a dozen. They know this is personal for you?" Sophia felt her stomach drop. "Personal? What does that mean?" Nikolai turned to her, his eyes serious. "It means they've realized I care about you. And now, they're using that against me." "Why would they care if you like me?" Sophia asked, confused. Nikolai stepped closer, his voice low. "Because in my world, love isn't just a feeling, Sophia. It's a weakness. And my enemies love nothing more than a weakness they can exploit." Sophia's breath caught. Did he just admit he had feelings for her? Before she could respond, the lights in the apartment suddenly went out. Marco's radio crackled. "Boss, they're here. They're already inside the building." Nikolai grabbed Sophia's hand, pulling her behind him protectively. "Stay close to me," he said firmly. "No matter what happens." Sophia's heart pounded, fear and something else, but trust. Maybe mixing together as darkness surrounded them and danger crept closer with every passing second. Darkness filled the apartment. Sophia's hand was locked tightly in Nikolai's grip. She could hear footsteps moving closer, quiet but deliberate. "Marco, cover the east hallway," Nikolai whispered into his radio. "I've got Sophia." Nikolai pulled her toward a hidden door behind a bookshelf. He pushed it open, revealing a narrow staircase. "Where does this go?" Sophia whispered. "Safety. Move, now." They rushed down the stairs, the sound of gunfire echoing above them. Sophia's whole body trembled, but Nikolai's steady grip kept her moving forward. They reached a basement garage. A car waited, engine running. "Get in," Nikolai ordered. Sophia obeyed without question. Nikolai drove fast through dark streets, checking the mirrors constantly. "Are we safe now?" Sophia asked, her voice shaky. "For now," Nikolai said. "But this isn't over. The Ricci family won't stop until they get what they want." "And what exactly do they want?" Sophia asked. Nikolai's jaw tightened. "Control of my territory. And they think using you against me is the way to get it." Sophia stared at him. "Why would hurting me help them get anything?" Nikolai glanced at her, his expression softening slightly. "Because they're right, Sophia. You've become important to me. More than I ever expected." Sophia's heart skipped. Despite the danger, despite the fear, those words meant something to her. They arrived at a heavily guarded safe house outside the city. Once inside, Nikolai immediately began giving orders to his men, planning his next move. Sophia sat quietly, watching him transform from the man who held her hand gently into a powerful leader controlling dangerous situations. Later that night, Nikolai found her sitting alone by the window. "You should rest," he said softly. "I can't," Sophia admitted. "Every time I close my eyes, I see those men breaking into my apartment." Nikolai sat beside her, his presence surprisingly comforting. "I promise you, Sophia, I will end this. You'll be safe." "How can you be so sure?" "Because I won't let anything happen to you," Nikolai said firmly. "Not now. Not ever." Sophia looked into his eyes, searching for any sign of doubt. She found none. The next morning, Nikolai revealed his plan. He would meet directly with the Ricci family leader, offering a deal to end the conflict once and for all, without more bloodshed. "That sounds dangerous," Sophia said, worrying fill in her voice. "It is," Nikolai admitted, "but it's the only way to protect you permanently." "Let me come with you," Sophia said suddenly. Nikolai shook his head immediately. "Absolutely not. It's too risky. I'm already involved, Nikolai." "I deserve to see this end," Sophia argued. After a long, tense silence, Nikolai finally agreed, on the condition that she stayed close to him at all times. The meeting took place in a quiet warehouse outside the city. Tension filled the air as both sides faced each other, guards ready on both sides. The Ricci leader, an older man with cold eyes, smiled cruelly at Sofia. So this is the girl causing all this trouble. Leave her out of this, Nikolai said sharply. This is between us, not anymore, the leader replied. She's already part of it. Suddenly, chaos erupted. Someone from the Ricci side pulled a gun, aiming directly at Sofia. Nikolai reacted instantly, pushing her behind him and taking the danger head-on. Shots rang out, followed by shouting and quick, decisive movements from Nikolai's men. Within minutes, it was over. Nikolai's men had control, and the Ricci leader was forced to surrender. Agreeing to end hostilities to save his own life, Sofia, shaken but unharmed, watched as Nikolai handled the aftermath calmly and confidently. When it was finally finished, Nikolai walked over to her, checking carefully for any injuries. "Are you okay?" he asked, his voice full of genuine concern. Sofia nodded, tears in her eyes. "You saved my life again, I told you," Nikolai said softly. "I won't let anything happen to you." Sofia looked deeply into his eyes. "Why do you care so much about me, Nikolai?" He took her hands gently in his. "Because from the moment I saw you, something changed in me. I didn't plan this. I didn't want this complication. But now, I can't imagine my life without you." Sofia felt tears fall freely now, but they were tears of relief and happiness. "So what happens now?" she whispered. Nikolai smiled softly, pulling her closer. "Now, you're truly mine. Not because I forced it, but because you choose it to." Sofia smiled through her tears, nodding gently. "Yes, I choose you too." As they stood together, the danger finally behind them, Sofia realized that sometimes the most unexpected beginnings lead to the most powerful love stories.